Hi everyone, my name is Andrea Wallace, the BCSPCA's Manager for Wild Animal Welfare. We're coming to you virtually this year because we unfortunately had to cancel our annual open house. We were very sad to have to cancel this year, but are happy to be able to share a little bit of Wild Ark with you in the comfort of your own home, and we hope you are all happy and healthy. As many of you will know, Wild Ark is Southern Vancouver Island's only wildlife rehabilitation center. And in almost 23 years of nurturing nature, we admit and care for roughly 3,000 wild animals every year. Wild Ark was first established in 1997 in celebration of the Victoria SPCA's 100th anniversary. More and more wild animals were arriving at the Victoria SPCA door, and it was clear there was a need for wildlife rehabilitation. Today, Wild Ark serves primarily the Greater Victoria area, but also admits animals from all over Vancouver Island and the Gulf Islands, depending on the species. We have a relatively small team of highly trained staff, one caretaker who lives on site, over 240 active volunteers and students, and an amazing team of staff at our provincial office in Vancouver to help keep things running smoothly. The support we receive from individuals, businesses, groups, clubs, and local government is also equally as important and never ceases to amaze us. We have 11 different volunteer roles, including animal care, spit and polish, wildlife chef, transport, fundraising, and outreach, to name just a few. And in 2019, we had 242 volunteers who collectively donated over 22,000 hours of their time to help us out. That's the equivalent of about 20 full-time staff over the busy summer months. In terms of finances, our revenue exceeded our expenses in 2019, which helps to cover annual capital projects. Wild Ark doesn't receive any government funding for day-to-day operations, and we rely on support from legacy gifts, individual donors, fundraising initiatives like our Wildlife in Focus photo contest, medical appeals, the raffle, and enclosure sponsorships, as well as third-party fundraisers, grants, fees, and rent. As I mentioned earlier, Wild Ark admits and cares for almost 3,000 animals each year, and most, about 75% of those animals, come to us between mid-April and mid-September, with the peak in June. In terms of the species we admit, almost 70% are birds and 30% are mammals. We do get the odd reptile and amphibian, and of course a few feral domestic animals find their way to us as well. Over our 22-year history, we have seen 181 unique species at Wild Ark, which certainly keeps us on our toes. There is never a dull moment. Each year we make improvements to the facility and our enclosures, and 2019 was no different. Thanks to the generous support of the people and businesses of the Island Equipment Owners Association, Wild Ark has had a driveway makeover. As you can see, it takes a small army of staff and volunteers to run the facility during the busy summer months, but until now we've only had parking for a handful of vehicles. Now we not only have better access to the facility, but also angled parking for up to 15 vehicles. Our deer enclosure has also gone through an evolution over the years, introducing better fencing, feeding stations, and sheds for shelter. If any of you who are listening today were at our open house in 2019, you may remember that our new deer shed was still under construction. Now completed, the upgrades include 4 separate rooms instead of only 2, which means we have more capability for quarantines. We also have a double door system so staff can access the shed with minimal disturbance to the herd, more cleanable floors and walls, and better lighting and ventilation. The wet forested environment has also been hard on some of the fencing and doors. Last fall and winter, we did some major repairs to make sure the enclosure is not only secure for the fawns we have in care, but also safe and efficient for staff. These new barn doors are amazing and so much easier for staff to use. We also continue to upgrade, replace, and acquire new equipment to provide the best care for our patients. In 2019, the new addition was an oxygen therapy cage that will allow us to provide better oxygen therapy to some of our larger patients, including bald eagles and Canada geese. And our X-ray machine and other diagnostic tools continue to allow for faster, more accurate assessment of injuries and the overall condition of the animal. This allows for faster, more accurate treatment. 2019 has also been a remarkable year of recognition for Wild Ark's work in the community. In September, the District of Metchosin officially recognized Wild Ark for exceptional contributions towards the welfare of wildlife in BC with the 2019 Friend of the Earth Award. And shortly after, the West Shore community voted Wild Ark as their favorite nonprofit. Wild Ark Assistant Manager Tara and I were happy to accept this award on behalf of the dedicated team of staff and volunteers who work tirelessly to rescue, rehabilitate, and release all our wild patients. Of course, none of what we do would be possible without the success of our fundraisers and support of the whole Greater Victoria community. Wild Ark supporters continue to go above and beyond every single day. To name just a few, the Cordova Bay Ladies Golf Club raised over $6,000 for Wild Ark. Several departments at the Victoria General Hospital generously store and donate unwanted or expired medical supplies to us. And donors who renew their enclosure sponsorships year after year. What would we do without you? And the continued support from the Central Victoria Veterinary Hospital, who kindly accept injured, orphaned, or sick wild animals on our behalf at all hours of the day. They hold these animals temporarily until we can arrange onward transport to Wild Ark through our transport volunteers system. It truly is a team effort. And the reason we all do it, that rewarding moment when we can release animals we've cared for back into the wild. I'll leave you now to watch a few release videos and hope to see you at Wild Ark's open house in 2021. Thank you.